Welcome to InsideAMind. I'm Tom.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the InsideAMind chat show. A quick disclaimer, Joe and I are not professionals in the topics we discuss. We talk from a subjective point of view, from our beliefs and experiences we have gone through in life. Secondly, we love doing these videos, so whether it's the podcast or this chat show, please like, subscribe, or even share it with a friend. It helps us massively. Now sit back, relax, and I'm going to put our 10-minute timer on for our chat on how to build and maintain a healthy mindset. We're ticking. We're on.
Let's go. Do you mind if I kick things off and ask you what you think a healthy mindset looks like?
Yeah, of course. So for me, there's probably three key characteristics to a healthy mindset. So that would be someone who's optimistic, someone who's resilient, and someone who is self-aware. And these are my three. I really sat down and had a proper think about if I was to view someone and be like, that's the person I want to be like, that's the mindset of someone I want to be like, those were my three. So having a healthy mindset includes having a positive outlook on life. So for me, being optimistic, being able to see the silver lining in challenging situations and maintain hope for the future was a big one. Being resilient, being able to bounce back from setbacks, failures, adversity, and being able to do that with determination is massive. And lastly, being self-aware. So it means understanding someone's emotions, someone's thoughts and behaviors, and also being aware of what you do yourself. So being able to be critical, sort of see yourself from a third person point of view and be able to break down what's going wrong in your life. I think they are my three key characteristics to a healthy mindset.
I like that.
What are yours?
I like that. Yeah, really good one. I've got three written down here I've written down. So being compassionate with yourself as well. I can definitely relate to that one. Number one. So lack of self-sabotage. So being positive about oneself or others. That's something I can definitely relate to. I'm not sure about you. Two, going back to basics. Again, we touched on this when I came on as a guest with you on the pod. I think just eating the right foods within reason, obviously, getting enough sleep, and sticking to a routine within that as well. So like getting out for regular walks and stuff and exercising regularly. I think getting back to basics, I think, is a huge fundamental part of a healthy mindset. And lastly, focusing on progress rather than regression. So, focusing on the future and positivity around that, and rather than the failures and past things that have happened already. So those are the
three of them.
Yeah,
completely agree on all three. If you were to flip that on its head and you were to say, what does an unhealthy mindset look like to you? Or if you know someone where you've been like, the way that person thinks is just incredibly unhealthy to themselves and to others. What would your sort of key areas be for that?
I guess the complete opposite of what we just said, right? So I think it's pessimism rather than positivity. I think with someone who has a really dour outlook on things and everything's just glass half empty and everything's negative would be one. Around that constant negativity is a huge one. And letting the small things bother them and a complete lack of resilience as well. I think that sounds quite negative in itself, but having someone have a lack of resilience for either, I don't know, a negative review at work, rather than taking the positives out of that and how to improve, it's negative. So I think it's sort of creating a resilience around someone, I think is a huge one for a negative mindset anyway.
For sure. Being around people that are just like constantly draining and negative is so stressful. That really wears off on me. Like I'm massive on surrounding yourself with people who you want to be like. And if I'm around negative people, whether that's in the gym, whether that's with friends, whether that was at school, whatever it was, it just used to it would ruin my whole day, like every time without fail. And it's just like, it's so one of the most draining things. And I like actively look if someone has that as like a characteristic just to stay away from them. I physically can't do it anymore. It just ruins everything.
Mate, one of the biggest bits of advice I'd give to anyone is to hang around people who have a positive outlook on life and on you as well, and fill you with good things rather than taking them away. I think that's a huge bit of advice I give to anyone, is just surrounding with positive people rather than negative ones, and a huge difference.
I know some tips for developing a positive mindset that you're big on is positive self-talk and sort of self-encouragement in a way. Can you expand a bit on that? And I know that's something we've talked about a lot, especially on our first episode of the podcast.
On when I was a guest, you mean?
Yeah. When you on our first episode, we talked about like having a positive outlook on things and sort of like seeing things differently as well. And we touched on that on the Matty one too.
Yeah, so I mean, Matt was huge for it. I mean, he was a big believer in if you tell yourself enough that you're really good at something, your brain will start to believe it, and you'll achieve the things you've set out for. So,
Mm.
people with a negative one will say they're really bad at something, and therefore they'll never achieve anything, and they'll generally believe that they're not very good at it. Matty told himself enough times that he will sell anything to anyone, therefore he will sell anything to, and he actually achieved that. He managed to
He
achieve it and
believed it
sell
as well.
anything to anyone. If you
He
believe
believed
something
it so
enough, you
deeply.
tell. Yeah, 100%, mate. The devil on your shoulder telling you no, you tell them yes enough, then that goal will go away, and you'll start to achieve more as a result of it.
What's your view on like setting goals, like long term goals, short term goals? Yeah, do you do that, or is that
Mate,
something you'd
it's everything.
encourage?
Oh, like you, like we discussed it on the pod. Routine is everything to me. When I don't have a routine, and a lot of my clients have this, when they go on holiday, whilst that holiday is amazing, when they get to the end of it, they start to want to come home again because they miss that routine, and they miss waking up, setting an alarm at the start of each day, setting out little targets to achieve through the week or through the day and through the month, etc. That can be a really, 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 really amazing thing for, I mean, 95% of my clients rely on routine to be able to achieve anything they want.
Setting
So whether it
setting
be,
achievable goals too. Setting achievable goals on that
yeah,
routine, whether that's at the gym or whether that's just
everything,
like I said earlier, even if it's just like having a set
life.
time to get up. That
Yeah.
all adds up after a while.
Yeah, no, I think routine for me, I'd say to any one of my clients, friends, family, anyone looking to achieve a healthy mindset is setting achievable goals, but also having a routine around it. I think that was just two massive, massive things moving forward to achieving what it is you want out of something.
Have you ever done any like mindfulness meditation type things? Because I know when my mum gets stressed, or for even friends of mine, like they love meditation, they love breath work, and all those different types of things. Have you ever looked at doing stuff like that?
Not as I will do this, and a good friend of mine, Jamie, who is an absolute god when it comes to the breath space world. I will definitely look into it because more and more people now are going down that space, and it's something that yoga, and obviously I teach Pilates. A lot of mindfulness and breath work comes into that. So not as much as I'd like, but I definitely will be looking more into it and giving it a go for sure.
Is there any sort of people you look up to in terms of like who has a healthy mindset where you're like, I want to be like that person, whether it's a celebrity, a friend? Is there anyone that sticks out to you in particular?
Weirdly, my mum. So, like, I think if I was to pick one person who's been through more things than a lot of people have been through, I think, and she always managed to have a healthy outlook on life, is my mum. And there are celebrities out there and authors and people that have written books, etc. But closer to home, definitely my mother, because she's very positive about life and her outlook is just amazing. So that she'd definitely be one for me. How about you?
Apart from family, I'll go different. I'll think of a celebrity, and this one's like so random because like people just won't know who he is. There's this guy in the NFL called Jalen Hurts, and he plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was written off his whole life during everything he does. He got taken over as the quarterback at his university. He had to transfer. Everyone was saying, he was rubbish, and he just kept going and going and going. And every press conference he did, it like he could have been so sour. He could have been like, oh yeah, they dropped me, this, that. He was so humble. He was like, I've got to be better. I've just got to keep growing. And then he was the backup on his team, got drafted late. And now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And I always remember that coming out of university. I was like, this guy's so cool. And that was about 4 or 5 years ago now. And he's always stuck out to me as someone who's just incredibly humble, hardworking. Everyone was hating on him, but he just sort of had tunnel vision on what he did. And I think people like him just have the strongest mindset, especially when you're in the public eye, to just keep going and going and going. And I thought was always very admirable.
No, I love that. I love that. Even a little slightly closer to home for us is that meeting Alex, a couple of weeks ago. Alex Bowen. I think that episode when it comes out, I can't wait for it. That really, really brought home to me as someone who's got a really healthy, positive outlook on life in general. Someone who has been in the public eye, come under scrutiny, trolls from the internet, etc. He's got such a great outlook on life in general, and it definitely was a bit of an eye opener for me for him just to sort of get out there and try things. And that really, really stuck out to me on the episode that we did with him. And yeah, I can't wait for that one to come out, mate.
Yeah, that's going to be out soon. I'm not sure when that'll be out in terms of when we release this. I think this will be released next week sometime, so it should be out by now if you're watching this. But that is a wicked episode, especially he's the type of guy. Actually, that's such a good point. Someone like Alex, where everyone would hate on him or would tell him to do something else, and he just had the vision. It was me and Olivia, his girlfriend. We're just going to battle through it and not care what people think because they know they're good humans. And it's it's nuts. Some of the hate people get, and being able to stick it through, being able to have that, like we said, the positive self-talk, being self-aware, knowing who you actually are, and the resilience to get through that. These are some of the best characteristics, in my opinion, not just in leaders, but in people in day-to-day life. Like having those characteristics, being resilient, self-aware, and also, just being able to positively self-talk, as you said, is just like so useful when it comes to day-to-day things, not just in sport and not just as a leader. That's our 10 minutes.
On cue,
Unreal,
well
bro. Hopefully we've packed enough information in there for everyone. So that's obviously our 10 minutes up, and where you hopefully have learned how to keep and maintain a healthy mindset. I know this is a tough time leading up to Christmas, but thank you for all your questions. And as you know, Joe and I will try and cover as many of them as possible. We had this question 3 or 4 times, I think you said, on your story to talk about this.
Yeah, I'd say so, at least.
I hope we've kind of filled in enough information about what we do, some of the lessons we've learned, and some of the people we look up to as well. But anyway, thank you for watching InsideAMind. That's it from me.
That's it from me as well.
And this is the InsideAMind Chat Show, episode 3. Signing off. Woo.